A small body of determined spirits, fired by an unquenchable faith in their mission, can alter the course of history. This is a very famous quote by महात्मा गांधी. ये कोट हमें ये बताता है दोस्तों कि जब एक ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल के अंदर में एक कॉमन सेंस ऑफ पर्पस होता है और उस पर्पस में, उस विजन में उनकी एक गहरी श्रद्धा होती है, तब वो लोग दुनिया का इतिहास बदल के रख सकते हैं. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि महात्मा गांधी का जो ये कोट है वो आज जो टॉपिक हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं उस टॉपिक के लिए बिल्कुल परफेक्टली एप्लीकेबल है. जी हाँ दोस्तों, आज हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं द टॉपिक ऑफ अमेरिकन रेवोल्यूशन इन वर्ल्ड हिस्ट्री. This is one of the very interesting, topics in world history. Something, a part of world history that I have always found fascinating. So I kind of, get excited while, reading about American Revolution or also teaching about it. What is this revolution about? ये क्रांति किस चीज की है? क्या करने निकले थे अमेरिका के फाउंडिंग फादर्स और किस हद तक उनको कामयाबी मिली अपने देश का इतिहास रचने के लिए और साथ ही दुनिया के इतिहास को भी जो है एक नया मोड़ देने के लिए. आज उन सब चीजों की हम बात करने जा रहे हैं. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो विजन था अमेरिका के फाउंडिंग फादर्स का, दैट पायस विजन, दैट नोबल विजन दैट दे हैड, दैट इज बेस्ट एनकैप्सुलेटेड इन अ कोट दैट आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू ओवर हियर. That quote is from the Declaration of Independence that the founding fathers of America had drafted. Let us read that quote, guys. It reads like this: All men are created equal. Sabhi jo human beings are now, yes, there is a gender bias, but we have to understand कि history थोड़ी सी contextual होती है दोस्तों. We are talking about a time when, gender parity was still a very, very distant dream, number one. And number two, language के अंदर में mankind या men, it represented humanity. Okay, so yes, it is not a perfect revolution, but nevertheless it is still way ahead of its time. तो क्या कहती है ये Declaration of Independence? They say all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. अब इसको गौर से समझिए दोस्तों, किस दौर में कहा जा रहा है ये उस दौर में कहा जा रहा है जहां पर there was, sense of supremacy in the white races. The colonial powers subjugated their colonies. In those times, inspired by ideals of enlightenment, the founding fathers of America, they say, all men are created equal and they are endowed by their creator. किसी पार्लियामेंट ने नहीं, किसी राजा महाराजा सम्राट ने नहीं, बल्कि जो विश्व का निर्माण करता है, द क्रिएटर हिमसेल्फ हैज एंडाउड देम विद सर्टेन इनएलिएनेबल राइट्स. ऐसे अधिकार जो उनसे छीने नहीं जा सकते हैं, इनएलिएनेबल राइट्स, ये क्रिएटर ने दिया है. ठीक है, पार्लियामेंट ने नहीं दिया है, किसी बादशाह ने नहीं दिया है, किसी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ने नहीं दिया है, but by the creator himself. This is something very, very profound for that day and age, with some inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty and pursuit of happiness. Life यानी जिंदगी का अधिकार, liberty यानी अपनी जिंदगी को अपने हिसाब से जीने का अधिकार, and pursuit of happiness, खुश रहने का, जो आपके व्यक्तिमत्व के विकास के लिए, whatever is relevant and important for the development of your personality, whatever makes you happy, gives you that sense of fulfillment from inside, you have the right to fulfill and follow that. This is what is being enshrined over here in Declaration of Independence. एक ऐसे दौर में जहां पर में सम्राट फैसला करते थे, absolute monarchs. In our last lecture, we have discussed that idea of absolute monarchs. All power was concentrated in their hands. मेरा वचन ही है शासन, शिवगामिनी स्टाइल के अंदर में. Death or life was decided on the whims and fancies of the emperor. People were living the lives like ants. Okay? They did not have any existence. In that day and age, the founding fathers of America come out with a very bold statement. All men are created equal. They are endowed by their creator with certain inalienable rights. that include life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. This declaration was drafted by Thomas Jefferson and signed by all founding fathers of America. दोस्तों ये जो दस्तावेज है, ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट है, this is like the American people presenting their case before the world. They were rebelling against their colonial master. Nobody had done that before. Just 2-3 generations ago, these people's fathers, grandfathers, and great-great-grandfathers, they had come from England itself. They are white people mostly, right? And they are taking a conscious decision to break the ties with motherland England. This was something unprecedented. So naturally, they owe an explanation to the world. कि ऐसा वो क्यों कर रहे हैं, किस आधार पे कर रहे हैं, क्या justification है उनके पास में. And that justification is very strongly argued for in this Declaration of Independence, which gives not only why what they are doing, but also gives a vision. Okay? It gives a larger purpose behind their act. This is, my dear students, the birth of one of the greatest political experiments over the recent centuries, that is United States of America. Let us get down into more details regarding how and why this actually happened. Dreaming of becoming an IAS officer? Then enroll for UPSC Guides online live GS Foundation batch starting from 19th of May. It's a complete ecosystem for every serious UPSC aspirant appearing for 2026 or 2027. It will include daily live online sessions by very senior faculties, detailed printed notes, mentorship support, focus on ethics, essay, and the CSAT paper, along with daily answer writing and weekly tests. This batch is going to be your one-stop solution for all your UPSC needs. What are you waiting for? Contact on the numbers given on the screen on WhatsApp or call, or visit us on our website UPSC Guide for more information. Your journey to Labasna begins here. I'll see you in the batch. We'll have to first understand what is the American Revolution in the first place. American Kranti का मतलब क्या है basically? The American Revolution was a war of liberation that was fought by 13 colonies, British colonies of North America. 13 colonies of North America, they fought against their metropole. You remember this term I had told you in the last class? Against their motherland, Britain. They severed the ties with Britain, and in place of a colonial structure, they created a new state, a new political experiment called as United States of America, USA. This experiment or this revolution was a product of an intellectual revolution that preceded it. Dear friends, हम जो भी करते हैं उसके पहले या उसके पीछे सबसे पहले क्या होता है कि कुछ आइडियाज होती है हमारे दिमाग में. We are basically people who are driven by ideas, our species. Anything that we create is first created in the realm of ideas. और enlightenment वो मूवमेंट था यूरोप के अंदर में, ब्रिटेन फ्रांस में खास तौर पे, जिसने इंसानियत को, ह्यूमैनिटी को एक नया चश्मा दिया ह्यूमन लाइफ को देखने का. इट गेव न्यू सेट ऑफ आइडियाज लाइक सॉवरेंटी ऑफ पीपल, सॉवरेंटी, हाकमियत. द अल्टीमेट पावर is not with a religious book, with a padri, with the pope, or with the ruler. It is with whom? It is with the people. Sovereignty resides with whom? It resides with people. It gave the idea of separation of state and church. हमने फर्स्ट लेक्चर में देखा था किस तरीके से the Pope had a lot of sway over European powers. It was he who crowned the rulers. His word was the final word. The Enlightenment says no. Give to the state that belongs to the state and give to the church that belongs to the church. दोनों का जो है वो एरिया सेपरेट होना चाहिए. This idea had slowly come about. Yes, religion is important. The founding fathers of America, they were religious. They were Christian. Most of them Protestants. But their belief was that state and church has to be different. and very significantly, the idea of individual liberty, individual freedom. Every person must have the right to live his life to the fullest. जिंदगी को पूरे तौर पर जीने का अधिकार हर व्यक्ति को प्राप्त होना चाहिए. Without this right, without the individual liberty, it is impossible for a person to flourish his personality to the fullest. मान लो जैसे आपको एक आ जाए कि आप सिविल सर्विसेज करना चाहते हैं, नहीं, लेकिन आप ये नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि से फॉर एग्जांपल आपकी कास्ट कुछ और है, आपके कास्ट का काम कुछ और है, राइट? So what will happen? You have the capability, you have the dream, desire to be a civil servant, or for that matter any career that you want to. लेकिन अगर आपको मौका नहीं मिलेगा, आपको वो लिबर्टी नहीं मिलेगी, तो क्या होगा? You will feel frustrated from inside. Your talent will go waste. You will not be able to live your life to the fullest, and that is what this idea basically, strikes against. Every individual must have the right to live his life to the fullest. It produced a modern written constitution. Modern written constitution. Yes, a very small constitution. You can literally, read through the American Constitution in about an hour. But very profound, very deep. Something that I had read an article some time ago by a great political thinker, and he had written that the American Constitution has had an impact on every constitution that has come in the world after it. It has impacted. So you can imagine the depth of ideas, values, principles that have been given in the American Constitution, that it continues to remain relevant to this date for every constitution written thereafter. It sparked new political trends in the world. Every political revolution after that, may it be the French Revolution, may it be the American Revolution, may it be the freedom struggle in India, every political trend bears in some way or the other influence of the American Revolution. You take India. The body that led the fight in India was called as Indian National Congress. This word Congress has actually come from the American Revolution. We will see that in very briefly, we'll see that. Okay, right. So this is a small introduction regarding what the American Revolution is about. Now, as we go on with this discussion, we will first note what are the themes that we are going to see. The first theme will be how the 13 colonies in the first place came about, how the colonies developed on the other side of the Atlantic. Second will be the relations of these colonies with motherland Britain. What kind of relations these people enjoyed with Britain. Third will be the 7 Years' War. This is like the कहानी में twist. आपने movies देखी है, interval के आस-पास में कहानी में एक बड़ा मोड़ आता है, and then वहीं पर interval होता है. So you feel like, oh, I was just getting engrossed in it, and now there's a break. There's a twist now in the story. The same thing for the love story of Britain and the 13 colonies is 7 Years' War and the Treaty of Paris. After this, the entire course of the relationship will be different. From being deeply in love to wanting to go, separate ways. This is the point where it all starts. We'll understand what were the grudges that Americans had. What were the issues that Americans faced against the British. We'll also see some important events. Although UPSC does not in mains go into detailing of events, but nevertheless, if we don't understand the events, it becomes difficult to understand the overall topic. So we'll see some major events that took place. We'll note the contribution of some thinkers, major ideas only, and how that influenced the revolution. Then we shall see what is the significance of the American Revolution, and after that we will be closing this topic. Okay, now let us get into the discussion of the topic, starting with the arrival of Europeans. In our last lecture, you might be remembering, we have discussed how 1453 becomes a landmark year in world history. In this year, we saw the fall of Constantinople in Europe, Istanbul, modern day. So, after the fall of Constantinople, the Europeans were searching for alternate safe routes to India. And that is when many Europeans set out to find out a safe sea route to India in particular and Asia in general. Okay. So people like John Cabot, okay, Cartier, Columbus, right? Then Amerigo Vespucci, then later on Magellan, and many other such people, they set out sail from Europe into the Atlantic to come where? To come to Asia. Columbus started it out. Then John Cabot of England, he discovered this area where the 13 colonies were made or established rather. John Cabot, remember his name? Amerigo Vespucci carried out this exploration for Italy. I told you last time he was the smart guy who understood that he has discovered a new world. He wrote a book titled by this name, New World. Amerigo Vespucci. Columbus के समझ में नहीं आया था, ठीक है? इसलिए these continents are known as America after Amerigo. They're named after Amerigo. Jacques Cartier did the same thing for France. So in this way, many of these people were coming to the New World. And when they came to the New World, they realized that यहाँ पर तो बहुत ज़मीन है. There's a lot of natural resources, fertile land. We can exploit the resources over here. But there was a problem. And the problem was that these areas were sparsely populated. Sparsely populated. You know, even today, in this day and age, USA is 7 times, you know, they're about the size of India, 7x, 7 times. And its population is about 30% of our population. You know, today, we're talking about this day and age. So you can imagine how sparse it must have been at that time. The local indigenous tribes, some of them were friendly, but most of them were hostile. And naturally, it was not possible to build a civilization with those people because they had their own way of life, language, culture, material well-being, so on and so forth. So, what do we do? So the Europeans started to take people from Europe to these colonies, so that those places could be inhabited and some, economic, cultural, etc. developments would take place in those places. The first people who went there were the ones who were persecuted for their religious beliefs. Europe in those times was a very, very intolerant place, very intolerant. Not so long ago, Europe had seen the infamous 30 Years' War. 1648 में खत्म हुआ ये 30 Years' War. 30 Years' War में दोस्तों Europeans, white Europeans, all of them Christians, they all believe in Jesus Christ, they all believe in Bible, but they were fighting each other over differences between sects, Catholics and Protestants at each other's throats, and they were killing each other, ripping each other's bowels out. You know, it's very gross, but then just to make you understand, back then, during the 30 Years' War, one very common form of, you can say, torture was that they used to rip open the enemy's stomach. And you know, the intestines, a stomach is a marvel. God's, it's a miraculous creation. The intestine, once the stomach is opened, it really flows out. And they used to leave the person tied on a tree with his intestines flowing out. And you know, it's a painful, slow death, especially seeing animals and birds coming and feeding on your intestines. So you can imagine how gross those times were. So for 30 years, this fight was going on. Why? Because of religious intolerance. So the people who went to these new places, to the colonies, one major section of them was those who were persecuted for their religious beliefs. That's why, you'll see that USA was Protestant dominant. Protestants is a sect amongst Christianity. Protestants were dominant. So a lot of Protestants went there. Then the next who went there were the convicts. The convicts, people who were languishing in jails, they were given the option either you stay in jail or you go to USA. And naturally, a lot of them chose to go to USA. Back then, by the way, crossing the Atlantic was not easy because the ships were not that strong. There were pirates, there were storms, anything could happen. But then people said, in any case, I'm dying in the jail. I might as well, try my luck out in these colonies. So a lot of convicts went there. With them came, आज कुछ तूफानी करते हैं type of people, the adventurers. Okay? These were people who wanted to be the Bear Grylls of their day and age. Right? They wanted to do something in the wild. So a lot of such peoples. Then came the traders, seeing the opportunity, long distance, precious items to trade, a lot of profit to be earned in the process. So many traders came. Then came landless peasants. You remember enclosure movement in Britain? We saw that last time. So the access to land, जमीन अब आसानी से नहीं थी, मिल रही थी. तो जमीन का जब access नहीं था, तो लोगों के पास में काम नहीं था. Many of these people who were landless, they also went क्योंकि government उनको promise कर रही थी कि वहां पर आपको हम या तो फ्री में जमीन देंगे या बहुत सस्ते में जमीन देंगे, लोन भी देंगे, वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. So many of them went. शुरुआत में yes English to begin with, लेकिन उसके बाद स्कॉट्स, जर्मन्स, डच, फ्रेंच, ये सभी लोग उन 13 कॉलोनीज में आकर के रहने लगे. It was not just English people. So you can see it was clearly a cosmopolitan kind of society with many different types of people who were living over there. और जब ऐसा cosmopolitan nature होता है तो वहां पर बहुत ज्यादा liberal ideas पनपते हैं. Liberal ideas develop there. You take the case of, say, Mumbai. Mumbai is a city which has people from not just across Maharashtra but across India. There hardly might be any district from the country or even tehsil from the country from where people have not come to Mumbai. So naturally, when so many different types of people come, it leads to a culture of exchange, right? People don't prioritize their own identity, they merge or melt into a common identity. So इसी की वजह से एक liberal nature बनता है. आज भी देखिए अमेरिका का nature वैसा ही है, liberal nature है. You have individual rights and freedoms. अगर मैं आपसे कहूँ कि you have two opportunities, either you go to USA or you go to China for your career, either of these two countries. You are going to get more salary in China than USA. If I ask you this question, I think most of you, or rather almost everybody, will prefer to go to USA, even if earning in China is more. Am I right? Why is that so? The reason behind that is that America is more liberal. It is more free. It is more welcoming, right? As compared to any other country. So that liberal nature comes from its creation. I hope you understood this. और ऐसे समाज में, ऐसे tough environment में, remember it's a huge land mass. There is a lot of opportunity because land is there, but at the same time there are risks. There are indigenous tribes, there are wild animals, there are dacoits. और ऐसे इसमें आपको अगर किसानी करनी है, आपको अपनी जमीन को बचाए रखना है, then you really have to be very, very strong, individualistic and independent. Individualistic and independent. Okay? And this is the kind of culture you see there even today. Why is it that in America the latest fashion develops? Because it is that individualistic nature. I had the opportunity of representing India as a student leader in a US government's program back then, my college days. So I toured USA and I saw a lot of different areas, different parts of USA. And I saw this very, very strongly. Independent nature. बहुत कम age में ही you have to become independent over there. This is a part of the values that was ingrained into that society right from its inception. Okay, Christianity and English language, majority religion of course, and the language, these were the two links that connected it with the motherland Britain. Britain के साथ में ये umbilical cord है, ये नहीं टूटेगा, ठीक है, this will remain common. Here's a map, guys. When we talk about American Revolution, at that time, broadly, this is the area only. This is the whole map of USA. Sometimes you might have not visualized it earlier. It is only this much part that was occupied by the 13 colonies. ये सारा जो area है, it is vast open land. Yes, some tribes here and there, but then those are mostly hunting gathering kind of people. A little more advanced in hunting gathering stage, but nevertheless nothing very significant in terms of civilization. So this is the only area that we are talking about. And here are the 13 colonies. Topmost, this area was called as New England colonies. ये पहले बसा था when the Europeans came. So this was the area, so that's why they call it New England. Then come the middle colonies. These are the middle colonies. And then come the southern colonies. These are big colonies, famous for agriculture, famous for later slave labor also. So these are the three major set of colonies. You don't have to remember the names, just try to understand that we are only talking about the east coast of USA. Barely, inside the east coast, right? Okay. Now let us get into what were the relations of these people with motherland Britain. What were their relations like? देखिए, जब तक 7 years war नहीं हुआ, तब तक इनके relations जो है वो बहुत दोस्ताना थे, amiable, friendly and loyal. ये जो 13 colonies थी, ये अपने आप को बहुत खुशकिस्मत समझती थी. They had a lot of pride that they are colonies of Britain. You remember, this is the peak period of British colonial times. पूरी दुनिया में जो है वो ब्रिटिश लोगों का डंका बज रहा था. And naturally these colonies felt a lot of pride कि भाई हम British colonies का part है, we are originally British people, so on and so forth. So they were amiable, friendly and loyal to the British crown. British crown भी जो है इनके साथ में बहुत रिलेटिवली अच्छा व्यवहार रखता था. उनकी इस पॉलिसी को बाद में नाम दिया गया पॉलिसी ऑफ सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट. ये टर्म याद रखना है आपको, द पॉलिसी ऑफ सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट. इसका मतलब क्या? सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट मतलब ब्रिटेन को बहुत फर्क नहीं पड़ता था इंटरनली व्हाट दीज कॉलोनीज आर डूइंग, as long as they were not rebelling and as long as they were not affecting British commercial interest. फिर ये अपना इंटरनली चाहे जैसे रहे, ब्रिटेन को बहुत फर्क नहीं पड़ता था, क्योंकि है तो हमारे ही लोग, ठीक है, लेट देम बी हैप्पी, बस हमारे से कोई बगावत मत करना एंड हमारे जो कमर्शियल ट्रेडिंग इंटरेस्ट है उसमें नुकसान मत करना. सो वी विल नॉट इंटरफियर इनटू माइनर थिंग्स. दिस पॉलिसी वाज कॉल्ड एज सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट. टर्म बाद में आया है ये, कि बाद में डिस्क्राइब करते हुए एक ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंटेरियन और बड़े पॉलिटिशियन थे, उन्होंने ये टर्म दिया था. ग्लैडस्टोन थे आई थिंक, या एडमंड बर्ग थे, बट एनीवेज आइदर ऑफ दीज टू गिव द टर्म सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट. इस सैल्यूटरी निग्लेक्ट के चलते इंटरनली देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ फ्रीडम टू दी 13 कॉलोनीज. ये 13 कॉलोनीज अपना जो हमेशा का जो काम है, पॉलिटिकल जो उनका वर्क है, ये करने के लिए ये पूरी तरीके से फ्री थे. और इसकी वजह से देयर वाज अ लॉट ऑफ डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्निंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस. हर एक कॉलोनी की जो है वो अपनी खुद की अपनी एक इलेक्टेड असेंबली होती थी. ये खुद इलेक्ट करते थे, मतलब इतना पॉलिटिकल इनके पास में फ्रीडम था. ये कॉलोनीज की असेंबली अपने अपने आप के लिए लॉज बनाती थी. अच्छा, एक चीज, वन थिंग यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड डियर स्टूडेंट्स, 13 कॉलोनीज पॉलिटिकली एक दूसरे से बिल्कुल जुदा है. फिजिकली दे आर क्लोज, कंटिग्यूअस ऑल्सो, but politically speaking, they are independent of each other. Each one has direct relations with Britain. Okay, they don't have political connection amongst one another. Yes, people traveled, there was trade and commerce, but politically they were not fused together. So hope you understand that. So they enacted laws for themselves, और ये laws एक formality के तौर पर they were sent to Britain और Britain से इसका approval आ जाता था. But these colonies, they had to accept governors and military commanders that were appointed by the British Crown. Ultimately, they have to keep some sort of control. Na? So the governor and the military commander, that was always appointed by the Crown. Apart from this, Parliament also, British Parliament, British Parliament had the right to make laws for British colonial interest. यानी ओवरऑल ब्रिटिश कॉलोनियल इंटरेस्ट फले फूले डेवलप हो, इसके लिए कायदे कानून बनाने का अधिकार ब्रिटेन की पार्लियामेंट ने अपने पास रखा था और बहुत सारे ऐसे लॉज पास भी किए जाते थे. द कॉलोनीज डिड नॉट हैव मच प्रॉब्लम विद दिस. कुछ लॉज को लेकर के थोड़ा टेंशन जरूर होता था. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल देयर वाज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज द नेविगेशन एक्ट. नोट्स में सारी डिटेल्स मिल जाएगी आपको. Navigation Act, last time also in last lecture we have discussed. Navigation Act said that the entire British colonial empire must use only British shipping. It was the Navigation Act. Then Enumerated Commodity Act. एक list of commodities थी. Enumeration मतलब listing of commodities. ये जो commodities थी, ये सारी commodities वाया ब्रिटेन ही इंपोर्ट होगी. मतलब मान लीजिए फ्रांस अगर कुछ भेज रहा है कॉलोनीज को एज अ पार्ट ऑफ ट्रेड, सो इट विल हैव टू बी फर्स्ट सेंट वेयर टू ब्रिटेन. वहां पर उस पर कस्टम ड्यूटी लगेगी और फिर ही वो कॉलोनीज जा सकता है. वैसे ही स्टेपल एक्ट, मोलासिस एक्ट, ऐसे कुछ एक्ट्स पास किए गए थे जिसको लेकर के थोड़ी सी अनबन रहती थी. बट Since Britain did not enforce it very strictly, काम चल जाता था. The British Parliament had passed laws, but they did not get into the nitty-gritties and enforced it very strongly. So the colonies also did not mind कि on paper है, लेकिन as such बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है. For all practical purposes, we are doing what we want to do. तो ऐसे करके दोनों भी जो है वो कुशल मंगल रह रहे थे. Both of them were happy in this relationship. Okay, British supremacy and British mercantile capitalism, these were two important priorities of the British. British supremacy यानी हमारी सॉवरेंटी को चैलेंज नहीं करना, और British mercantile interest यानी हमारे ट्रेड इंटरेस्ट को किसी तरीके से नुकसान मत पहुंचाना. If you do these two things, 1 and 2, then we don't mind what you do internally much. We'll not be really nagging after you on minor things. These are two priorities, and the colonies were also fine with it. Supremacy to unko chahiye hi thi because they are being protected by the British Crown. They take that pride, and British commercial interest was also fine with them. They did not have much issue with it. लेकिन ये सब कुछ बदलेगा. ये सब कुछ कब बदलेगा? 7 years war और उसके आखिर में आई हुई ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस में. This event will change everything. So now let me show you two maps, before and after. आपने देखा होगा ना टीवी पे एड्स आती हैं कि ये फलाना प्रोडक्ट लेने से पहले मैं कुछ ऐसा था, and then now this is how I am. 7 years war is that kind of a landmark event. You can see over here, before the 7 years war, this pink shaded area is where the colonies were there. और यहां पर में फिलाडेल्फिया नाम का ये शहर है, which was the most important city at that time. आप ये कह सकते हैं कि it was kind of the political nerve center, Philadelphia. यहीं पर जो है वो 2 कांग्रेस यानी 2 बैठक होगी for deciding relations with Britain, और यहीं सेकेंड कांग्रेस के अंदर में डिक्लेरेशन ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस भी आएगा. So that is the most important city of Philadelphia. इस तरफ ये जो येलोइश क्रीम एरिया है, this is under the French. This area is called as Louisiana. Louis was the title of the French king. Louis the 15th जो है वो इस दौर के अंदर में he was the ruler of France. So Louisiana वहां से वो नाम आया है. Then green area is Spain. If you go today to America, USA also for that matter, you'll see a lot of Hispanic people. Okay? Why? Because all of these areas, Central America, large part of South America, it was the Spanish people who were ruling. ब्राजील पे पोर्चुगीज थे, लेकिन बाकी सब एरियाज पे स्पेन का रूल था, कॉलोनीज थी, and consequently Spanish language was spoken over there. So this is the situation before the war. This area which is shaded like this, east of Mississippi River, this area east of Mississippi River and west of the mountains over here, Rocky Mountains. So ये जो area है, the shaded area, this area was disputed. Both Britain and France, they claimed these area. Both of these, they claimed this area. So ये conflict वाला area था. और इस conflict को decide करने के लिए ही both these powers, Britain and France, they will fight the 7 years war. 7 years war जंग होगी. 1756 से 1763. These were the 7 years when the war was fought. Actually, it was started earlier itself. 54 से ही शुरू हुआ था, लेकिन ऑफिशियल डिक्लेरेशन जो है वो 1756 में है, इसलिए 7 years war है. ऐसे देखा जाए तो 9 years का वॉर होना चाहिए. इस वॉर को विंस्टन चर्चिल ने फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर भी कहा है. फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर, एक तरफ ब्रिटेन था और दूसरी तरफ था फ्रांस, लेकिन साथ में इनके एलाइज थे. ब्रिटेन का एलाई था प्रशिया. प्रशिया जो जर्मन स्टेट्स में सबसे पावरफुल स्टेट था. उस वक्त तक जर्मनी बना नहीं था. जर्मनी वाज नॉट येट बॉर्न. जर्मनी विल बी बॉर्न इन 1870. So before that, Prussia was the most important player. So Britain and Prussia were on one side, and then there were some other minor players. And on the other side was France, along with that Austria, and also Spain, and then many other sundry characters. But these three were important. So in those sides के बीच में ये war लड़ी गई. So and it was fought on different continents. अमेरिका में लड़ा गया, यूरोप में लड़ा गया, भारत में the last Anglo-French war, and last Anglo-French war is nothing but it is a part of the 7 years war only. वहाँ फिलीपींस में भी they fought. So in many different places they are fighting, and that's why Winston Churchill calls it as the First World War also. बहरहाल तो ये जंग हुई इन दोनों के बीच में, और इस जंग में जीत मिलती है ब्रिटेन को, और एक ट्रीटी साइन हुई बिटवीन द टू विच इज कॉल्ड एज ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस. और इस ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस में फ्रांस ने नॉर्थ अमेरिका को पूरी तरीके से छोड़ दिया. एज यू कैन सी हियर, दिस एंटायर एरिया वाज नाउ ऑक्यूपाइड बाय whom? It was occupied by Britain. You can see the whole pink area. This will be a very significant point. मिसिसिपी के वेस्ट में लुइसियाना was given to Spanish people. स्पेन ने इसको रख लिया फ्रॉम फ्रांस. पहले इट वाज विद फ्रांस. बहरहाल, सो दिस इज द कंडीशन एट द एंड ऑफ द वॉर. नाउ लेट अस सी व्हाई इज इट सच अ सिग्निफिकेंट डेवलपमेंट. व्हाट आर द आउटकम्स ऑफ द वॉर? ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस के चलते फ्रेंच इंफ्लुएंस अब खत्म हो चुका था इन नॉर्थ अमेरिका, नॉर्थ एज वेल एज वेस्टर्न पार्ट ऑफ द अमेरिका, नॉर्दर्न कॉन्टिनेंट. So now the colonists who up to this point were fearful कि भैया ये जो फ्रेंच है ये कभी भी हमारे ऊपर हमला कर सकते हैं, ये डर अब जा चुका था. This fear is gone. In this war, Britain got area east of Mississippi, as I showed you in the map on the last slide. अब ये जो एरिया बढ़ के मिला है ब्रिटेन को, द वाइट सेटलर कॉलोनिस्ट, they wanted to expand westwards into this new found area. Zameen, this land is a very potent, powerful attraction for man. This is something deep inside our genes. You see, even to this date, a lot of fights world over. See what is happening in Israel Palestine. You see what is happening to some extent, even Ukraine and Russia war. What is it a fight about? In great measure, it is about land, right? So these white settler people, they wanted to go westwards. I'll show you the map again. So here is the mountain range. These people wanted to go westwards and occupy as much land as possible, right? So this was another major motivation. Their confidence was also now very high. Why was their confidence high? एक तो फ्रेंच जा चुके हैं, and secondly, many of these people had fought as officers and soldiers in the British Army against the French. People like George Washington, he was a young man at that time. He was an officer in that army. He fought very bravely, and there were many like him. So because of this, their confidence was high. Okay, we know how a war is fought. हम लड़ सकते हैं. Their confidence is high. फ्रांस और उसके जो एलाइज थे, जो हार चुके थे, फ्रांस, स्पेन, नेदरलैंड, these people were ready to help the Americans to even fight against Britain. होता है ना, हम तुम्हारी पार्टी तो स्पॉइल करेंगे, चलो हम तो हार गए लेकिन हमारी तो पार्टी हम स्पॉइल कर ही सकते हैं. ओके, सो फ्रेंच वांटेड दैट, एक टर्म यूज होता है हमारी तरफ में, आसुरी समाधान. आसुर यानी शैतान, right? Samadhan. So you derive that satisfaction like a Satan. So they wanted that satisfaction that even if Britain, you defeated us, we instigated your own people, the white people in these colonies against you. So they were ready to help them out. Against whom? Against the Britishers. This war had made Britain hugely indebted. This is a problem with Britain in this part of world history. They will win all wars, but at huge financial cost and burden. हर वॉर के बाद में ब्रिटेन जीत कर निकलता है, लेकिन फाइनेंशियली इट इज क्रम्बल्ड. मैं वो हमेशा ये कहता हूँ, एक फिल्म का डायलॉग हुआ करता था, हार के भी जीतने वाले को बाजीगर कहते हैं. ठीक है, तो आई हैव जस्ट ट्विस्टेड दैट अ लिटिल. जीत कर भी बैंकरप्ट होने वाले को ब्रिटेन कहते हैं. Whether it is World War I, whether it is World War II, wars before that, the 7 Years' War, Britain has won always, but at the end of it, there was huge debt. अब ये जो है चीजों को बदल देगा between Britain and the colonies. तो क्या होगा देखिए. अब ब्रिटेन में नए प्राइम मिनिस्टर आ गए उस वक्त में, प्राइम मिनिस्टर ग्रेनविल. और ग्रेनविल साहब के सामने the biggest challenge was that the debt burden was very high. The land mass in America had increased. अब इतना बड़ा एरिया है, उसको डिफेंड करना है, नेटिव ट्राइब्स हैं, not many of them are friendly with you. So Britain was incurring a very, very huge amount of money for all of these things, the war and then subsequently the defense, so on and so forth. So Grenville felt that we cannot do all of this for free. This is being done for the American people. So the American people also must contribute their share in this process. So what does he do? He decided to raise the taxes and give up earlier policy of salutary neglect. इस पॉलिसी को अब वो छोड़ देंगे, अब वो इंटरफेयर करेंगे, अब वो जितना हो सकता है maximum they will try to mobilize tax revenue. So this will now pinch the Americans. Second, after this came the Crown's Proclamation of 1763. Very important point here. The Crown's Proclamation of 1763. What did this proclamation say? The Crown's Proclamation said that the settler colonists, they will not cross the mountains onto the western side. they'll not go there. जहां है वही रहेंगे. Why is that so? Because on the other side there were a lot of native Indian tribes, वहां की local tribes, and many of these tribes had supported Britain in the 7 Years' War with the hope that Britain will be, good to them. One. And number two, if the white American people, the settlers, if they go into the areas of the tribes, then it will lead to conflict with the tribes. And these tribes were very fierce, warlike. They were not advanced, but then they were very brave. This will lead to battles and wars, and Britain will have to spend more money, जो कि अब हम नहीं कर सकते. So Britain ने कहा कि nothing doing. They made this proclamation that nobody will cross into the other side. Okay, let the native people live. और वैसे भी पहले ये सारे natives जो हैं वो coastal areas में थे. A lot many of these tribes had been pushed on the other side of the mountain forcefully because the white people were going to stay here. So it was further unfair if the colonists went into their areas. Britain did not want this. So they made this proclamation of 1763. Then they passed several acts. बहुत सारे acts pass किए जिनको collectively unpopular acts भी कहा जाता है. What were these acts? पहला था इसमें करेंसी एक्ट. करेंसी एक्ट मोटा मोटा समझ लीजिए, यू विल नॉट हैव टू राइट डिटेल्स. वॉर के दौरान में बहुत सारी करेंसीज डीवैल्यू हो चुकी थी. सो दोस करेंसीज वर डीमोनेटाइज्ड. ओके, दे वर रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम सर्कुलेशन. व्हेन you know how what happened during our demonetization, it led to a lot of pain for the economy, for the people. So the same thing happened with the American people, and naturally they felt agitated because of that. Then came Sugar Act. What did the Sugar Act say? The Sugar Act said that when the sugar is being imported from the West Indies, then there will be tax levied on it by Britain. So the cost of sugar will go up. Stamp Act, the most infamous of all of these. The Stamp Act said that all different types of goods and documents will have to pay a duty on it. Newspapers ho, documents ho, कुछ भी हो, even playing cards, जो cards खेलते हैं game के अंदर, even those cards you have to pay a duty on that. And when you pay the duty, then a stamp is affixed on it. That stamp is a guarantee that yes, duty has been paid on this particular stuff. That's why it was called as the Stamp Act. Now, this Stamp Act led to a lot of economic, pain for the American people. Goods that were never ever taxed before, they were brought under this Stamp Act. So Americans didn't like it. Then came the infamous Quartering Act. Quartering Act. What was this Quartering Act about? Now that the area of these colonies had increased tremendously, there was a lot more need for British troops in different areas. And in all the areas, cantonments and garrisons were not available जहाँ soldiers को रखा जाता है. So the British government said कि ये जो हमारे troops हैं, British troops जो हमने यहाँ से भेजे हैं, we have sent them to America for what? For your defense. So housing these people and their other requirements, you will have to do. You will have to provide them quarter. Quarter over here in British military language, here it means a place for putting up with all the basic facilities. That's called as quarter. So the Americans will have to provide quarter to whom? To the British troops. That's why it was called as Quartering Act. अब American लोगों को ये चीज अच्छी नहीं लगी क्योंकि Americans said, why do we even need so many soldiers? The danger was from the French and they are gone. So why do we need so many soldiers? And if still Britain is keeping so many soldiers, it is to keep control over us. हमारे ऊपर में दमन करने के लिए, to suppress us. British troops are being kept here and moreover they are expecting us to provide what? To provide quarter to these British troops. So they just hated this act. इन सब से जूझने के लिए फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम Samuel Adams, one of the leading founding fathers of USA, he created an organization called as Committee of Correspondence, 1764. This was for the first time that American people were creating a mechanism for coordination amongst themselves, political coordination amongst themselves. That is called as Committee of Correspondence. Massachusetts Assembly was called against the Stamp Act. This is also called as Stamp Act Congress that we saw over here. और इस कांग्रेस में 9 colonies के representatives आए and they gave that famous declaration, no taxation without representation. No taxation without representation. This was a principle that was accepted in Britain. People who paid taxes had the right to vote, had the right to elect their representative in the British Parliament. But here, the British Parliament was imposing taxes on the American people without American representation there. तो अमेरिकन्स ने कहा भैया ये तो अनफेयर है, चिराग तले अंधेरा, आपने तो बड़ा प्रिंसिपल पॉलिटिकली वो बनाया है. एंड ब्रिटेन यू नो वाज द, यू कैन से, क्रेडल ऑफ मॉडर्न पॉलिटिकल थॉट. इट इज द होम टू मॉडर्न डेमोक्रेसी. और इस डेमोक्रेसी का एक प्रिंसिपल था कि अगर आप टैक्स भरते हैं तो आपको राइट है पार्लियामेंटेरियंस इलेक्ट करने का, लेकिन अमेरिकन्स को तो राइट नहीं दिया है. So Americans protested against this, no taxation without representation. Okay. Stamp Act, बहरहाल बाद में, it was withdrawn, but a new act was brought about called as Townshend Act. Townshend जो है, he was the finance minister, so to speak. I mean, I'm keeping it simple. Called as chancellor back then. So Townshend साहब जो है, इन्होंने एक series of acts pass किया. And in those acts, many items were brought under purview of taxation, including a very popular item called as tea, chai. चाय पर चर्चा नहीं, चाय पर टैक्स लगाया गया. अब अमेरिकन्स जो है वो और गुस्सा हो गए and they started a new organization called, ये देखिए पहला यहाँ पर था. Now second, again Samuel Adams is important figure here. Sons of Liberty. Sons of Liberty. In some books, it's also called Sons and Daughters of Liberty. Both are the same. Sons of Liberty was the more common name. Sons of Liberty was politically conscious Americans coming together to fight against this kind of political behavior of the British people. Okay? Sons of Liberty और भी बहुत सारे और लोगों ने प्रोटेस्ट किया, और इन प्रोटेस्ट के अंदर में बहुत सारे टैक्सेस को वापस लिया गया, लेकिन चाय वाला जो टैक्स था ये कंटिन्यू रहता है. इस चाय के टैक्स के खिलाफ में बॉस्टन शहर, बॉस्टन यू कैन से इट वाज लाइक मुंबई ऑफ द कॉलोनीज. इट वाज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्ट. जैसे ब्रिटिश टाइम्स में बॉम्बे वाज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, लाइक दैट इट वाज बॉस्टन देयर. So Boston was a city of traders. It was a city of import export. It was also a very politically charged city. So Boston के अंदर में a group of people were protesting और British soldiers ने इनके ऊपर में गोलियां दाग दी. इस मैसेकर के अंदर में बहुत सारे लोग इंजर हुए और 14-15 लोगों की मौत भी हो गई. This became the infamous Boston Massacre of 1770. इस इवेंट ने, यानी बॉस्टन मैसेकर ने, अमेरिकन लोगों के दिलों को बदल दिया. Americans realized that the British are here only for their commercial interest. They don't have anything to do with us per se. They are completely and only driven by their profits. They are ready to kill us also if need be. So this really angered a lot of American people, and many of them started to seriously question the relationship with Britain in the first place. Okay? Tea Act. A new act was passed now, Tea Act 1772. ये अलग से एक्ट है टाउनशेंड एक्ट के अलावा। टी एक्ट ने क्या कहा? भारत में 1765 में 1765 to 1772, this period is called as period of dual government in India. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी बक्सर की लड़ाई जीत करके बंगाल और बिहार और ओडिशा की दीवानी राइट्स ले चुकी है। नवाब उनके टाइट्यूलर बन चुके हैं और एवरीथिंग इज अंडर ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनीज कंट्रोल। बट सरप्राइजिंगली लॉर्ड क्लाइव का ये जो ड्यूअल गवर्नमेंट वाला पीरियड है 1765 से 72, इस पीरियड में कंपनी दिवालियां हो रही हैं, कंपनी इज बिकमिंग बैंकरप्ट। Lord Clive became very rich, Admiral Watson became very rich, all East India Company officials became very rich, but the company was becoming very poor. And by the time it was 1772, the East India Company, who was already burdened with loan from Britain, one, and number two, it had not paid the annuities to the British government. जो monopoly मिली थी उसका एक उनको वो देना पड़ता था, annuity देनी पड़ती थी. It had not paid that. And on top of that, it was asking for a big loan again in 1772. This gave a big shock to Britain. How is this possible? There has been some big ghafla over here. Everybody realized that there was corruption, there was, a lot of issues with East India Company ka rule, and therefore East India Company needs to be rescued from this, और ये सारा जो गंद मचाई है इन्होंने इसको साफ करना होगा, ठीक है? That is when the dual government was ended. East India Company took over direct charge, and Warren Hastings became the governor of Bengal and then Governor General of Bengal. Okay, modern India थोड़ा revise कर लिया हमने. So 1772 में, to rescue East India Company, it was given monopoly of tea trade across British Empire. Only East India Company who will do tea trade across British Empire. ये monopoly दी by this act called as Tea Act 1772. The Americans did not like this. Why should a British company have monopoly over such an important item of trade like tea? And to protest against this, Samuel Adams once again, along with his fellows of Sons of Liberty, they dressed up as native Indians, entered the Boston port, went into a ship of East India Company loaded with very good quality tea, and flung all the caskets into the Atlantic Ocean. This event came to be called as the Boston Tea Party of 1773, Boston Tea Party. Not only was this a very strong action against the act, moreover, the manner in which it was done, by wearing, native Indian clothes, it in a way told the British Parliament that, see, we don't give a damn about you. We are no more connected with our roots. We are Americans now. That native Indian dress was a statement. There was tremendous anger, as expected, against this in Britain. Everybody in Britain wanted to teach these Americans, Yankees as they were called, a lesson for their lifetime. क्या किया ब्रिटेन ने? British Parliament ने एक के बाद एक धड़ाधड़, one after another, they passed a series of acts which were called as coercive acts in Britain, and they were called as intolerable acts in the colonies. एक के बाद एक acts pass. इसमें एक एक्ट ये था जिसमें बॉस्टन पोर्ट को 6 months के लिए, ना, दिस वाज द लाइफलाइन, 6 months के लिए बॉस्टन पोर्ट को क्लोज करना है. यहाँ पे कोई ट्रेडिंग नहीं होगी, कोई शिप नहीं आएगी फॉर 6 long months. This was the response of British government. Americans naturally got worried, perplexed, angry, frustrated with all of this, and they called a meeting which was called as the First Continental Congress. In this, 12 colonies came together, representatives of colonies, in a place called as Philadelphia. We saw that on the map. And they said that, okay, we will try to make the British people understand our perspective. We don't want conflict. We want to continue in this relationship, but our demands also have to be addressed. Demand about industry. Industrial revolution शुरू हो चुका था वहां. Americans wanted their own industry to develop. Britain did not want that. Freely being able to trade with other countries. अब फ्रांस के साथ में ट्रेड करना है तो वाया ब्रिटेन करना होगा. ये नहीं चलेगा. We should be free to trade by ourselves. And most importantly, no taxation without representation. These were the three major demands that they kept before British Parliament. The British got enraged. How dare these people? मेरी बिल्ली मुझी से म्याऊं हिंदी में मुहावरा है. It is we who established the colonies. It is we who took people over there. It is we who have protected these colonies against the French danger. And now these people have the audacity to present a set of demands to us. उस वक्त में किंग जॉर्ज जो है वो रूलर थे. किंग जॉर्ज ने कहा था, नाउ द डाई हैज बीन कास्ट. उनका कोट है, डाई हैज बीन कास्ट. द कॉलोनीज मस्ट फाइट और सबमिट. यानी अब वार्तालाप नहीं होगा. नाउ नो डायलॉग. नाउ देयर विल बी ओनली व्हाट? देयर विल बी ओनली war. War with England. So now what do the continental people do? The American people? They called for another meeting. This is called as Second Continental Congress. Second Continental Congress. This Second Continental Congress on 4th of July 1776 adopted the Declaration of Independence drafted by Thomas Jefferson. They drafted the Declaration of Independence. The colonists also said, okay, अब तो आर या पार, अब हम लड़ेंगे. Then they appointed the great George Washington as the leader to fight against the British. George Washington was a great military commander. He was experienced, but he knew that the American army is not strong enough to fight the Redcoats. The British army was the strongest army in the world. They had fought across the continents. They were very disciplined. They knew how to fight. And therefore, George Washington used guerrilla warfare to fight against them. The Americans also tried to get as much help from Spain and France as possible. The French gave them a lot of money, and also 10,000 troops were sent by the French towards the end, but भेजे थे to fight for the Americans against the British. पहले शुरुआत में जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन बहुत पिटते हैं, जैसे हर मूवी में होता है ना. हीरो क्या होता है, पहले बहुत पिटता है, फ्रस्ट्रेट होता है. नो, इट्स लाइक नथिंग इज गोइंग माय वे, आई वांट टू गिव अप. आपकी भी लाइफ में इस वक्त शायद ऐसा हो रहा होगा, या आपको पहले कभी ऐसा हुआ होगा, लेकिन वो हिम्मत नहीं हारते. और हर हीरो की कहानी यही. Setbacks, obstacles, problems, losses, but still that human spirit of persevering and looking for that one big opportunity. And if you wait and if you persevere, then you get that opportunity as George Washington got. Lord Cornwallis, जो बाद में भारत आएंगे, Lord Cornwallis, the commander of British forces, he made one fatal error. यॉर्कटाउन नाम की एक जगह पर में उन्होंने थोड़ा सा मौका दे दिया जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन को. जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन ने घेरा लगा दिया और समंदर की तरफ पीछे से फ्रेंच नेवी ने आकर के आइसोलेट कर दिया और बीच में सारी ब्रिटिश सेना फंस गई. आगे जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन है, पीछे समंदर है, समंदर के अंदर में फ्रेंच नेवी है. देयर वाज नथिंग, इट वाज अ चेकमेट सिचुएशन. एंड दैट इज व्हेन द ब्रिटिश ट्रूप्स सरेंडर्ड टू जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन एट यॉर्कटाउन इन 1781. इसके बाद में कुछ वक्त युद्ध जारी रहा, बट फाइनली जाकर के ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस साइन हुई 1783. ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस 1783. एंड इन दिस ट्रीटी, दिस इज अगेन ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस. इससे पहले 7 years वॉर में वी हैड सीन ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस. नाउ वंस अगेन वी आर सीइंग इट. इन दिस ट्रीटी ऑफ पेरिस, ब्रिटेन ने अमेरिकन कॉलोनी से कहा, जा सिमरन जी ले अपनी जिंदगी, गो हैव योर इंडिपेंडेंस. एंड दिस इज हाउ फाइनली यूएसए got its independence. Declaration तो बहुत पहले आ गया था, 1776 में ही. but Britain officially gave it in 1783. Interesting कहानी है जॉर्ज वॉशिंगटन और लॉर्ड कॉर्नवालिस की. Lord Cornwallis was a very seasoned, बड़े ही मंजे हुए, military general, and he had a lot of pride in his pedigree. बहुत बड़े खानदान से थे. He was like a very good friend of Prime Minister Pitt. The Pitt's India Act अब पढ़ते हैं ना, so that same guy. He was a very good personal friend. So he was of that stature and caliber there. And वहाँ के बड़े रईस और जमींदार टाइप की फैमिली से Lord Cornwallis used to come. So Lord Cornwallis, he was adamant that he will not surrender before George Washington. His position was very precarious. He could not fight because दोनों तरफ से फंस चुके हैं. या तो भूखे मरेंगे या तो इनकी सेना जाके खत्म करेगी उनको. यही बस बचा हुआ था. But still he did not want to surrender. So George Washington realized that this man is very egoistic. George Washington, American aristocracy में बड़ा नाम था, लेकिन he is nowhere as compared to Lord Cornwallis' stature. Okay, so George Washington said, "Okay, fine, you don't surrender, but ask your next in command." Military में कहते हैं 2IC, second in command. 2IC, second in command. You send your next guy, and I will send my 2IC, and they will do the surrender का formality. क्योंकि surrender में ऐसे होता है ना दोस्तों कि first you have to give your personal weapon to the victorious army. That is how surrender is done. You remember that photo of 1971 war? General A.K. Niazi, he's signing that letter, and next to him is General Jagjit Singh Arora. Okay, so General Niazi had given his personal revolver to General Jagjit Singh Arora. That is the traditions, giving your personal weapon. So Cornwallis ये करने के लिए तैयार नहीं था. So Washington ने कहा, okay, fine, you do it this way. So Cornwallis agreed to that, and that's how the surrender was done. बाद में Cornwallis ब्रिटेन गए, वहां पर उनकी बड़ी बदनामी हुई, and he was very disappointed with the outcome of the war. Around that time, 1784, Warren